Next up, we have Power of the Saber Blade by DRAGONFORCE, featured on Beat Saber 2, I believe, or Beat Saber in general. Once again, everybody, this is a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and my objective here is to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what is happening here, musically. So, if you like the sound of that, make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term you want to use, like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, become a member. Once again, everybody, what happens if we reach 10,000 before Christmas? The gaming channel, how to request songs if you're not on the live stream. I have a spiel for this and a bunch of other things at the end of the video, so stick around for that. Disclaimers showing on your screen right now, so go ahead and pause the video if you want to read them in full. Otherwise, please be patient with me. I am acoustic and guitared, so please keep that in mind. With that said, yes, we skipped the cutscene that they had. I just wanted to do the original one. So with that, let's go ahead and do this. Power of the Saber Blade. Let's go. Ow.
With the power of the Saber Blade.
Okay, so we start and immediately this is very DRAGONFORCE. For those of you who don't know, this band right here, DRAGONFORCE, absolute legends, every single one of them. They used to be great, but not living their potential, and ever since they got this guy in the vocals, it's just, they've lived their potential. So, we start, of course, the song. This is an actual song. So we're going to start with the differentiation between songs versus instrumentals, pieces or tracks, right? So a song is going to have lyrics, it's going to have vocals, and those vocals or lyrics are going to be the driving force of the substantial part of the piece or of the duration of the track. Then instrumentals or pieces or tracks, whichever term you want to use, these are driven more by the way you tell the structure of these is a little bit more intricate, because you have to see, okay, which melodies are we having over here, what the melody is doing, what the motif is, and like all of these things, right? And yes, DRAGONFORCE, of course, became extremely famous from their Guitar Hero 3 song, which was Through the Fire and Flames, right? Funnily enough, back in the day, DRAGONFORCE used to do what was called speed metal. Speed metal, the problem was that they would record something in the studio and then they would artificially speed it up in post-production. And there were performances of DRAGONFORCE back in the day that they would not be able to play their own music live on live. This all changed, of course, when they swapped vocalists with the guy that they have now. The new one, right? It's been like 12 years. And yes, now they actually play everything and they record it, and now they're like 100% legit. By the way, the genre that DRAGONFORCE usually is called power metal. Power metal being probably one of the most fun genres of subgenres of metal out there. Very epic, very cool vocals. Usually you're gonna get very locomotive drums. You know, you're gonna get the actual tukupaku 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 tukupaku. Right now, of course, the drums are doing a blast beat, which is just going really, really fast, right? And that kind of stuff. So let's go back to the music itself, right? So we start with a very lovely way of starting with a bunch of layered vocals singing basically the title of the song. We are, of course, in our intro. Immediately after that, we bring in the guitars. With the drums, the guitars are doing layers, the vocals are doing layers, and the guitars are actually doing probably our initial melodic motif in the accompaniment, right? So motifs being smallest version of your musical ideas, the seed, the essence from which everything else comes from, right? And then the guitars are doing what informally we would know as twin guitars, which is in a slightly more formal term, it would be harmonized guitars. which comes from harmonization, which comes from counterpoint, parallel motion. So let me break this down a little bit more, shall we? Have you heard any of Blood Thief OST? No, here's the thing about me. I've never played anything, I've never heard anything, I've never seen anything in my life. So chances are, if you ask me if I've ever heard, played, or seen, or watched, there's like a 70 to 90% chance that the answer is no. Because I've been under a rock for a very long time. So... yeah, and Murdy Void, welcome to the Hydron. So yes, counterpoint being the study of melodies, how they are, how they develop, how they interact with one another, usually under the context of having two or more happening at the same time. Counterpoint is usually measured in motion, right? Motion, there's three main types. Parallel, similar, and contrary. So these are going to be very simple examples, right? So parallel, let's go upwards, right? So contrary motion means you have two melodies, one of them is going one way, probably up, and the other one goes the opposite way, right? That kind of thing. Similar motion is going to be that both melodies are kind of going the same way, but it's not necessarily one-to-one, or that kind of stuff. This is where the idea of species counterpoint can come in, this kind of stuff. Usually I give the example, of course, of what's it called, the invention in D minor, right? So we have that, and you can hear that both melodies are mostly going the same way, but they're not really doing that, right? Like they're not one-to-one playing the same thing. And parallel motion, which is harmonization, in this case in the guitars, but you know, parallel motion means there's two melodies from two separate points in the scale, and they're both doing the same thing. Oh. Imagine I can play piano, right? Random Human, welcome to the day. How you doing? So yeah, we're having this, and we're having the twin guitars while the drums are playing what is called a blast beat. Blast beat is a term that comes in heavy metal, in which you are playing the drums, if you've never seen a drum kit, right? So a drum kit over here, we have, let's see a top view. Let's see if we can find a top view. Something a bit simpler. Okay, so here we have, this is an electric drum kit, but the concept is still the same. Here, the big one is called the kick drum or the bass drum. Here you have your hi-hat, which is usually two cymbals put against one another. It's the one that sounds tss, right? And then you have this snare over here. And the way blast beats work is that you are going to be playing your beat to the metronome, playing in 16th notes. So, you know, taka 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 taka. And you're just gonna play. There are several ways of doing blast beats. One of them is to just play, you know, kick and hi-hat, then snare, and just doing that really fast. Or kick, hi-hat, and snare all at the same time at those 16th notes. Or really varies depending on the definition of the blast beats kind of stuff. Point is, they go really fast. Let's see where this goes. And yeah, right now the ones being done are instead of the hi-hat, it's the ride cymbal. The ride cymbal is the one that sounds a little bit like a bell, and we're doing ride and bass drum and then snare. So tupa 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 tupa, just really fast. And we had the vocalist giving us some high pipes. Herman Lee, of course, doing his flippity floppity finger style upside down. It's a gimmick thing. I do it too. It's just fun to do. Let's see where this goes. And oh, hang on, I need to hear that again. That was the bass doing a run. Run, by the way, a run is when you play a scale really fast, right? And in this case, it might even run by an arpeggio. It was an arpeggio and a run. So run is when you play a scale really fast, and then it had an arpeggio mixed in the mix. Arpeggio being when you play a chord one note at a time, right? So for example, here is C minor, and here it is arpeggiated. So yeah, no, this is insane. We go now from the intro over to verse number 1. As I said, in song, you have these easier to define structure, especially nowadays that we use the introverse song form, because it's easier. It's easier to do, right? So verse is often going to be lyrics over music. So you're not going to have the melodies are not going to be as climactic as they probably could be. The melody, the rhythms and everything, like it's not going to be as climactic as how do I put this, as cathartic as they could be. I keep hitting the microphone, sorry. As cathartic as they could be, because that would come later in what is called the chorus. The chorus is going to be where the catchy melodies are at, where your singer really let's go. I say, you know, verses, lyrics over music. Chorus is music over lyrics. So yeah, let's just see where this goes.
In the rhythm of the galaxy, lost in the rhythm of my mind, watching and waiting, hiding in the crowd, fired up for what I'm gonna find.
Okay, so yes, these guys are doing power metal sped up completely. You can hear how the guitars and the drums and the bass are pretty much just locked in our accompaniment, right? So accompaniment is whatever is not the lead. Right now, the lead is the vocalist, is the singer. We're singing the melodies. The guitars are doing a bit of a doubling to the vocals. Doubling is when you have more than one instrument playing the same thing at the same time. Difference being that the guitars are also playing along, doubling with the drums and the bass at the same time. And oh my god, this is fast. This is fast. They are going really, really, really fast. Let's see where this goes.
Voices calling from another world, tells me to leave it all behind.
Nice. And we'll have one more melody higher up, doubling.
Better run, better hide, 'cause I'm coming for you tonight.
So we have this little moment. We are taking kind of like a break over here. This is what we are going to call our pre-chorus number 1. As I said, verse is lyrics over music. As you heard, the melodies were relatively simple. They were straightforwardly. The vocals were, you know, everything else was super fast, but everything, you know, the melodies themselves were fairly straightforward. Ba 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 ba. You know, the variations on that motif, not very complex. Now we come over to a pre-chorus. It's giving us a nice contrast, a nice break to what we just heard. The lyrics change a little bit, likely in preparation for our first chorus. This is my prediction. Let's see if I'm right.
Gotta scream, gotta bleed, with the power of the Saber.
And the guitars during runs.
With the power of the Saber blade.
There you go.
With the power to destroy, we'll touch the rainbow stars tonight. In the moonlight shining, take them all out from behind. In the lights out blinding, so
So yeah, you see how now the melodies are a lot more climactic. Everything is going way higher. The guitars even had a moment where they're just playing the chords without doing any of the fast stuff. We're just letting the melodies flow. We're allowing the music to let loose a little bit more. Because funnily enough, while they were going really fast on the verse, it was a good way of containing things with everything. It was a good way of containing things, and now the energy feels a lot a lot higher. The intensity feels a lot higher, more released, because we're allowing those melodies to go even higher than before. Of course, this chorus is a two-parter kind of thing. We have the first part of the chorus, which sets up for the second half. You know, kind of like gaining some momentum to compensate for the little break that we had in the pre-chorus, and now we have this. Let me go back a couple of seconds. Let's see what it is. Continuation. Part 3. And we have a synth higher up as well, doing some doublings sometimes with the vocals. Nice detail to it, especially considering that these are very chimey synths. And I'm loving this. Let's see where it goes. Oh! Ooh, yeah! Alright. Now we've gone from our chorus to our instrumental break number 1. Now, considering this is DRAGONFORCE, chances are we're about to see our first solo section. chances are, because DRAGONFORCE, of course, it's a lot of insanely talented musicians, as you've already seen. Like, being able to play at this speed, it requires quite a bit of skill. So right now, chances are we're gonna see our first solo section, and the way DRAGONFORCE usually does it is that we rotate the different instruments. Sometimes it might just be the guitars, sometimes they might bring the bass in, sometimes they might bring the drums in for solos. Let's see what happens. Let's see if I'm right. Nope, not a solo. We're going to verse number 2. The break number 1, as you heard, we had the guitars doing some really cool arpeggios, engaging in the technique of tapping. So in guitar, there is a technique called tapping. So if we bring a guitar, right? A guitar, let me show you. Let's see, what's so good? This is the one that we usually use, right? So usually a guitar, as you can see, you would play with, if you're right-handed, your left hand would be on the fretboard, and the right hand would be here on the body. And the way it works is that you strum, where's mine? Behind the green screen. Yeah, no, my guitars are behind the green screen, which, yeah, I'm not gonna get them. So the way it works is that you have your left hand on the neck, on the fretboard, and then the right hand would usually be strumming, either individual, you're gonna be either picking individual, strings, usually with, what is called a guitar pick. Here you can see a guitar pick, and usually in metal bands, usually you're gonna have guitarists with a guitar pick, that kind of stuff, and they're gonna be picking the individual ones. There's many ways of, there's many techniques. For example, one of them is palm muting, in which you bring your hand over here to the lower end of the strings on the lower bridge. You take your palm and you press it in this, like right after this section where the strings end, and then you pick while pressing down. Then it gives the strings that chuggy sound, like chung 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 chung, kind of sound that you can get. That is palm muting. And now tapping. The way tapping works is that you take your strumming hand and you tap in the string in whichever fret you are, and then usually you're going to be using it as an extra finger for whatever melodies you are using, with what is called hammer-ons and pull-offs. A hammer-on is when you already have a note here, you press with your hand without strumming the string, and you still get the note. Pull-off, when you pull off the string, you get a note without having to pluck or strum at all. So we're having that. Now we're in verse number 2. Let's see where this goes. And yes, the guitars right now, you can hear them. Most of the time, they're doing palm muting just right now, which at that speed is pretty cool. Let's see where it goes. Okay, we include some. Yeah, keep in mind, I very rarely pay attention to the videos. Okay, I very, very rarely pay attention, but don't lick your guitars, please. That's or your VR headsets. So, yes, we have the guitars. We're letting the guitars doing a few adornments here and there, doing miniature solos here and there, and what we could call stingers. Usually a stinger is going to be like a one and done kind of melody or percussive thing, usually for added texture or for added drama, which in this case, it's what the guitars were doing there. They were doing really, really cool short mini solos with that. This would be a good song. Most of DRAGONFORCE, like we've done Through the Fire and Flames in the Jam and Shreds before. We've done a handful of DRAGONFORCE. They're really fun. They're really difficult to keep up with. Is it right up your alley? Yeah, no, like DRAGONFORCE is one of the reasons why I even started with guitars to begin with. It's one of the reasons. Like Guitar Hero 3 is how I started with guitars. Like I used to be just only into video games. I mean, I kind of still am, but then one of my friends showed me Guitar Hero, and it was like a switch flipping, right? Like, oh my god, this is so cool. I have to play the game. My parents got me the game, and I played it so much. I finished the game. I was never able to do Through the Fire and Flames in expert mode. Never made it once. But By the time I was done with the game, I just had it in my brain of, I need to learn the real thing, and I need to do this for the rest of my life. So yeah, I asked my dad to teach me guitar, and it was one of those moments, right? Like, Father, the video game is no longer enough. It does not satisfy my craving for music. And my dad was like, son, it is finally time. And he brought me like a guitar that he bought when I was born, like in preparation for the day. And it was like this like very, very cheap classical guitar, like very small and everything. But it was my first guitar, you know, and then I started learning. Then I outpaced my dad, so he took me to a teacher. I outpaced that teacher, so he took me to another teacher. And then I got into a Saturday school back in Guatemala, which, is it still around? Is it still around? Polirritmos de Guatemala. It seems like they still are. Yeah, this at the curva añad. Polirritmos de Guatemala is the school. Yeah, that's Byron. Byron right there. Byron Campo, the drummer, lead teacher of Polirritmos. This school is what got me started in music. Like, they are the ones that really sparked that flame and really got me to move forward. Then, of course, I made it to the Berklee College of Music, and funnily enough, Seven Spires, they toured with DRAGONFORCE. I think it was this year or last year, within the last year or so. So yeah, a bit of extra lore from me, huh? So yeah, that's yeah, DRAGONFORCE has been a massive influence for me. I don't listen to their stuff as much anymore, mainly because I have 5 albums that I listen to on a daily basis at work. My Spotify Wrapped was just those 5 albums, right? So yeah. No, but DRAGONFORCE, they are absolutely they absolutely shaped my stuff. So yeah, you're completely right there, Ghosting, but they're right up my alley. Anyway, let's see where this goes, right? So we're having the chorus. Let's see it. Pre-chorus 2.
It's a major malfunction. Can you go to your knees with the power of the Saber?
And now chorus 2. So yeah, as you heard in the pre-chorus number 2, we had the, what's it called? We had a few more stingers from the guitars. They sound really cool. So stingers follow a little bit of that same rule set that I give for solos. When you're making music, you want to keep a careful balance between what is familiar and what is new. Too much familiarity, too much repetition, too much of the same thing. You risk boring the listener, they tune out. Too much new material too quickly, you risk overwhelming the listener, they tune out. There is one universal exception, regardless of genre, which is solos. You put in a solo, if it sounds cool and it fits enough, you can get away with whatever you want. Stingers follow a similar logic. Stingers will follow a similar logic. So yeah, now we're in chorus number 2. Let's see where it goes.
With the power to destroy, we'll touch the rainbow stars tonight. In the moonlight shining, take them all out from behind.
I really like how the chorus interrupts itself to bring the melodies higher. Because the first part of the chorus, it seems like it's like a 3-part chorus. First part is kind of still a little bit like the verse. Then we bring a lot more melody, and then we bring in more melody. Really, really cool. Let's see where it's going.
In their eyes now blinding, so slice them all, for to vaporize them all. Now feel the everlasting power
Those,
of the Saber Man.
oh, those high notes. Break number 2. And now, solo section number 1. As I said, DRAGONFORCE has insanely talented musicians, and they go really wild. We had a combination there in this solo. We had a combination of runs. We had a combination of arpeggios. We had a combination in tapping, that kind of stuff. Really, really cool. Let's see where it goes. Hammer-ons, pull-offs, tapping. That's Herman Lee right there. Oh, really cool. We even bring the bass. Oh, that's so cool. And as you heard right now, when the bass was playing, everybody else kind of shut up. And that's usually because of how basses work, right? So basses are kind of always there, but if you really want to give the spotlight, you really need a little bit more silence for the rest. We're still on Dragon Force? Yes, we're still on Dragon Force because I yap a lot. Anyway, let's see. I keep hitting the table and the microphone. Solos are part of the lyrics in metal, generally speaking. I mean, that can be like, these are, yeah, no, in the case of Dragon Force, they always have the just really difficult solos, really, really cool stuff. But there are, like, I am of the opposite to that opinion. I like having my solos be completely new material, completely new melodies that are just re-exploring what we've done so far. That's how I like to do my solos. But yeah, anyway, let's see how it goes. Now we're having both guitars playing at the same time. So the way Dragon Force does their solos is they usually do two sections of solos. Solo section number 1, you will have one instrument going at a time, and solo section number 2 is going to be like a chorus for their solos, a little bit more escalated, and yeah, and yes, Avlixels, it is getting out of hand, and remind me to talk about that afterwards, because there are potential news regarding the full-time experiment. All right, let's see where it goes. So it's split up and now toward the bridge. So as you can hear, we are now in the bridge. The bridge is usually going to be a hard contrast compared to everything else. It's supposed to bring the intensity to the complete opposite end. So if you have a high intensity chorus, you want to bring the intensity down with the bridge, because right after the bridge, usually you will go back to the chorus. And if your chorus is lower intensity than the rest of the piece, when you jump back to the chorus, it will feel even more intense relatively speaking, right? Does anybody else? I mean, that's one of those matters of opinion. Some people like when their melodies match the rest of the melodies. Some people like the re-exploration. I am of the opinion of re-exploration. I'm a very melodically oriented musician, so I like exploring melodies as much as possible, right? So yeah, but there's people that are of the opposite side, and that's fine. So yeah, let's see where it goes. So you can hear a little bit more climactic in that sense, but we're still building up towards chorus 3. Now we're playing like the top final side of the chorus. Very nice. Very nice, and now we're probably in the outro. Yep, outro. Similar to the intro. And there you go. One more bar, we play the last note a few more times, and it ends. So this format over here is pretty reliably what Dragon Force has done throughout most of their songs out there. And it works really, really well, especially their solo sections, because their solo sections has like this, the main solo part and then a second one continuing that escalates even further. Of course, chorus, insanely beautiful melodies, really cool. I like that the chorus was kind of like 3-part, and it didn't get old. It never got old. Even when they sang it one last time, the third time, it was still just as good, especially after the bridge. Super well-made stuff. It's Dragon Force. It's Dragon Force. They've always been really, really good at this kind of stuff. And there you go. And there you go. My ears love this song. My arms do not. I should learn a Dragon Force song one of these days. Like, We should just do a stream where I just learn some difficult songs. Anyway, and there you go. That was Power of the Saber Blade by DRAGONFORCE, featured in Beat Saber. Once again, everybody, this has been a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and my objective here has been to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what's happened here musically. So, if you're watching this on the YouTube video archive thing, thank you for watching. Make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term you want to use. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, become a member. Once again, everybody, if we somehow hit 10,000 subscribers on YouTube before Christmas 2025, which... not very likely, but if it still happens, on top of doing the audiobook fan fiction thing, I will also play a single video game of the choice of the community, whatever y'all vote for within terms of service and within means, right? Like, I can't play Beat Saber because I don't have the equipment. But something like that. And yes, we're probably going to do giveaways. We have a member who's offered to do Discord Nitro giveaways. We're probably going to do other types of giveaways, that kind of stuff. This has to be achieved through legitimate and honest means only. No account duping, no buying followers, no alt accounting, no rat behaviors like that. Go share the videos, the streams with your friends, with your families, with your family's friends, with your friends' families. Those are two very distinct concepts, by the way. With your online and offline communities, go share these videos with everybody that you know. Also, use the hype function on YouTube. We have a group on the Discord that coordinates for that. Link down below. Go to the Discord, go coordinate with them people. And yeah, after the stream, I'm gonna need to set up a poll for that. Yes, artists. DRAGONFORCE or anybody else out there on YouTube or otherwise, this is an open invitation to collaborate. If you are out there and you want any of my musical skills for any of your projects, whether it is my guitars, Mongolian throat singing, you know, the good old kind of thing, regular singing, voice acting, or whatever it is, reach out, let me know. Let's work together, let's make stuff, right? And if you're in the audience and you know somebody that could benefit from any of my skills, reach out, let them know. Please do not harass anyone, please do not spam anyone, be cool about things, don't be a rat. Members get early access to the content. I schedule the videos for the week on Saturdays, and if you're a paid member on YouTube, regardless of your tier, you get access to the videos when I schedule them, at least for the LFAs. So become a member today. If you want to listen to this without me interrupting every 3.5 seconds, I will be linking in the description down below. If you want to request a song and you're not on the live stream, check the pinned comment on this video. It has the instructions on what to do. And if you want to catch the streams when they happen live, we aim for Monday through Friday, at least at this time. We aim for Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Central European Time. We have the full we stream live on Twitch, YouTube, and Kick so that you can tune in from whichever platform you prefer. Again, at this time, 6 p.m. in Central European Time. If you're not in Europe, do not worry. We have the full up-to-date streaming schedule showing in your local time zone in both Discord and Twitch. So if you live in Window Rock, and you're like, yeah, but what time is 6 p.m. in Hungary? I don't live there. Do not worry. Just go to Discord or Twitch, and they're both going to have They're both going to show in your local time zone. And follow the gaming channel. I have a gaming channel because, of course, I have a gaming channel. I'm on YouTube. What else could I possibly have? Games are Bastard. That's where I put the gaming after show recordings. When they happen, we record them live on stream as an after show, and then the recordings go there. Link down in the description, or just search on YouTube. Same username as James R. Bastard. Just swap the J for a G, and you got it. And, yeah, there you go. Power of the Saber Blade, DRAGONFORCE. It's DRAGONFORCE. Really, really good stuff, dude. Really good stuff. But, yeah, let's move on.